clase. Today we're going to talk about tener que infinitive. So make sure you have your tener que infinitive note guide and that you're filling it out as we go through the PowerPoint. So remember that we use the verb tener to talk about what people have or possession. You've already learned that. We know that tener means to have. We know that tener que means to have to. But here's one. Tener que infinitive means someone has to do something, okay? So infinitive, we'll talk about that a little bit more, but infinitive is verb, okay? So at this point, I need you to pause the video and fill in the first 3 blanks of Part A on your note guide. All right, so let's talk more about this formula. We use a formula, okay? We're going to use the verb tener, then that will be followed by the word que, and finally by an infinitive to talk about what people have to do. All right, so an infinitive is just another word for verb, okay? And infinitives in Spanish, or verbs in Spanish, and an AR, ER, or IR, and they all mean to do something. So look at these 3 examples of AR verbs. We have hablar, to talk or speak, montar, to ride, and cantar, to sing. Here are 3 examples of ER verbs as well. Comer, to eat, beber, to drink, and leer, to read. And finally, examples of IR verbs could be escribir, to write, vivir, to live, asistir, to attend. All right, pause the video and finish filling out Part A of your note guide. All right, so because we're using this verb tener, I do want to review the forms, okay? So tener means to have, and tener que means to have to. Tener que infinitive, or verb, means to have to do something. So let's review the forms of tener because you will need to use those, okay? Remember, yo tengo is I have. Tú tienes is you have. Usted tiene is you have. Él tiene is he has. Ella tiene is she has. Nosotros tenemos, we have. Ustedes tienen, you all have. And ellos and ellas tienen both mean they have. All right, so let's look at some examples of this tener que infinitive formula, okay? The first example says, yo tengo que comer la fruta y las verduras. So notice here our subject is yo, okay? So we would need to use the correct form of tener to match yo. We know that's tango. Also, we follow up with the word que and a verb infinitive to say what it is I have to do. This sentence says, I have to eat fruits and vegetables. Ella tiene que usar la computadora en clase. Here, we've used the ella form of tener, okay? The word que is the same, and then we've used the verb infinitive to say that she has to use the computer in class. And finally, los estudiantes tienen que estudiar el vocabulario. The students have to study the vocabulary. Notice the students is like saying they, that would be ellos. So we use the ellos form of tener to say that the students have to study. All right? Pause the video and fill in all of Part B, the chart, and the example sentence. Practiquemos. Let's practice. We're going to fill in the blanks with the correct form of tener, que, infinitive. All right, so let's do the first one together. It gives us tú, okay? We know the tú form of tener is tienes. We know the second blank will be filled with the word que. And finally, we need to put the verb infinitive to finish it up to say what this person has to do. All right, so tú tienes que leer la novela means you have to read the novel. Okay, pause the video, fill in 2 through 6, and then we'll review our answers. All right, let's check. Número 2, yo tengo que estudiar para el examen. I have to study for the test. Okay, so all we did here was we used the tener form of, the yo form of tener, which is tengo. The second blank was que, and to study is estudiar. Número 3, nosotros tenemos que contestar la pregunta. We have to answer the question. Again, we use the correct form of tener, the word que, and the verb infinitive. 4, Juanita tiene que hacer mucha tarea. Juanita has to do a lot of homework. Okay, now here, Juanita is a girl's name, so it's like saying she. We would use the tener. Tiene is the correct form of tener if it's she has to, right? So tiene que hacer mucha tarea. Número 5. Las chicas tienen que sacar buenas notas. Las chicas is like saying they, so we use the a form of tener, que, and the verb infinitive to say that the girls have to get good grades. And finally, número 6, Carlos tiene que asistir las clases. Carlos has to attend the classes. All right, at this point, you need to write down any questions for Part D on your note guide, okay? And make sure that you ask them before we take the quiz the next class, 5-point mini quiz. Please make sure you watch the video again if you have any questions or you didn't quite understand everything. Okay, adios.